Good evening. Welcome to the State of Business on our television with me, Kavishka Pereira. Let's take a look at today's headlines. President Maithripala Sirisena will address the 5th Conference on Interaction and Confidence Building Measures in Tajikistan on Saturday. Chairman of Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau claims that many countries will update the travel advisories. News in detail. The national program to cultivate in abandoned 3,000 acres of paddy fields island-wide was commenced at a function held at Panduvasnur in Kurunagal yesterday under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. The program was drafted to strengthen the lifestyle of 1,000 agricultural families attending to the necessary works of 21 identified tanks or lakes which provided water for the paddy field-based areas. Officials attached the Ministry of Agriculture are in belief that around 3,000 paddy fields are abandoned due to lack of water for cultivation. President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday participated in the national festival to kick off the program with other politicians in the area. The program also included loan schemes for the farmers and consultation sessions from the experts in the agricultural sector. Meanwhile, President Maithripala Sirisena also left for Tajikistan to attend the 5th Conference on Interaction and Confidence Building Measures in Asia scheduled to be held in Dushanbe. The CICA is an international forum to strengthen cooperation established to ensure peace, security and stability in the Asian region. President Sirisena is scheduled to address CICA summit on the 15th of June and he will also engage in bilateral meetings with several leaders including Tajikistan President Emomali Rahman on the sidelines of the CICA summit. Sri Lanka's 6-month Treasury bill yield fell near the overnight repurchase rate at which excess money is withdrawn by the central bank at the Treasury bill auctions held yesterday. Central bank's official data showed that Sri Lanka's 6-month Treasury bill yield fell to 8.63% at yesterday's auction from 8.71% a week earlier, while the one-year yield fell to 8.8% from 8.90%. The central bank mopped up 5.25 billion rupees of excess liquidity, an average yield of 8.56% yesterday, bringing down the aggregate balance of the banking system to 22.11 billion rupees from 31.98 billion rupees, erring from the side of caution. The overnight rate has come down as a private credit slowed, allowing the central bank to purchase foreign exchange, deploying a strong side convertibility undertaking of its peg. On May 28, the central bank mopped up 7-day cash for 8.6%, erring on the side of caution, paying the correct market rate for its objective of trimming excess liquidity. Central bank has accepted only the 3 months and 6 months offers at a yield rate of 8.38% at yesterday's auction. The introduction of the promotional tour packages for Indian tourists offered by Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau affiliated to the Ministry of Tourism Development, Wildlife and Christian Religious Affairs was officially launched yesterday. Thus, this promotional tours to Sri Lanka organized by Sri Lanka Tourism together with many state and private stakeholders will be rolled out in India starting this week. Hence, the 5 promotional tour packages to Sri Lanka targeted at the Indian tourists range from a combination of stays in Colombo, Kandy, Nuwara, Dambulla, Sigiriya and South Coast with multiple options to suit in any budget. Moreover, noting that tourism industry is gradually bouncing back after the Easter Sunday attacks, Minister of Tourism and Wildlife John Amaratunga said that attracting Indian tourists to Sri Lanka constitutes a major aspect of fortifying the tourism industry.
Now this Indian package is very important, as was mentioned. Number one, our neighbor, the leader in the South Asian region, India, the strongest and the most populous country, ending up, as mentioned, 1.3 billion, and some 900 million voters had voted for the new Prime Minister. I was shocked about the numbers. Whatever it may be, if they keep travelling to Sri Lanka, that is enough. We do not depend on anyone else. As to how we could attract them is something that we have to work on. And I was thinking, we have so much to offer here besides our resources that we have. Look at the cultural sites like the one at Khataragama, one at Trincomalee, and also the Ramayana Trail. All those are matters of very much of interest to the Indians. Besides our wildlife and what we see in the sea and the tea and all that, there are very many places of interest. When the temperature rises in the northern part and the southern part of India to about 40 to 50 degrees, there is no other better place for them to come other than Sri Lanka. So these are some of the factors that we have to consider.
Elaborating on the attempts of recovering from the recent terror attacks, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, Kishu Gomez, highlighted that many countries are on the verge of updating the travel advisories imposed on Sri Lanka and that the affected industry will gain momentum with time.
In May, we had a decline of 70.8% in terms of tourist arrivals. So the average in May was 1,300 tourists per day, and that has gone up to 2,000 tourists per day during the month of June. So it's a significant recovery that we see, and with all the other things we are doing, we will be able to soon get to that desired level and beyond that to try and end the year. This is my estimate, and you can mark it for the time being. If you can end the year at 20% less than last year, I think we have all the more reasons to be happy, and that's what we are working towards. And to that end, we have seen many countries relaxing the travel advisories, and you know the list, but just for matter of interest, let me give you the list. Belgium, China, Denmark, Germany, India, Italy, Netherlands, Sweden, and Switzerland. These countries have already revised, and from other countries we see certain updates being done, and when you read the updates, you know that they are just about to relax their travel advisories as well.
Stay tuned for more news after this short commercial break. Welcome back. The Youth Forum 2019, which was targeting at creating more entrepreneurs with an acceptable education background, was launched yesterday at the University of Kelaniya for the fourth consecutive year under the theme of Purpose-Driven Career. Thus, this Youth Forum was organized by CLED KLN, which is student-run body started with undergraduates from the University of Kelaniya with the purpose of directing youth by instilling the values of leadership, empowerment and development. Moreover, the forum was organized to render professional grooming for the undergraduates who will soon enter the competitive job market. Delivering the keynote speech, Dr. Rohan Tathakorala highlighted that Sri Lanka can re-over and reconsolidate the tourism sector and that the economy as a whole through the lessons learned from the Easter Sunday attacks.
Whilst everybody is talking about the negatives of the 21st attack, April, the way I look at it, given that I was chairman of the Sri Lanka Tourism Board and being chairman of the Export Development Board, and I was also chairman of Lanka Satrosa for about 2 years, I'm telling you that we can beautifully correct our supply chain in the next 1 year. And we can be ready to be very strong Sri Lanka in the next 2 years. Are you with me? So, when you all pass out, you all will be going into an economy which is now what, 89 billion. Within the next 10 years, this economy will be about $200 billion. Between 89 to 200 billion, it will just go through in the next 10 years. So, when you all graduate, you all will have a lot of jobs. You all will get paid very well.
Explaining further on means to fashion Sri Lanka as a viable economic region, Dr. Rohan Tathakorala stressed that the youth should smartly exploit the thriving ICT sector in Sri Lanka in order to make it an attractive growth pole.
We are the #1 exporter of Ceylon silver in the world. 90% of the exports of the world is from Sri Lanka. The Ceylon sapphire is a world beater. Even Lady Diana's ring was made out of a Ceylon sapphire. So our IT industry, which is $1 billion in the next 1 year, is a huge industry. I know that Gurip came in the morning from Kapurka. Likewise, we have so much of companies in Sri Lanka who are in the software industry, which are all the best in the world. So, a lot of people don't know these guys. Sri Lanka is an outstanding country. Now, what is important is for people like you all not to go abroad. Focus and get through your exam.
Sri Lanka's industrial production hit a 3-year low in April amid New Year holidays and Easter bombings that kept workers away from factories, the data released by the Department of Census and Statistics says. The index of industrial production in April fell to 96.9 points from 97.7 points in April 2018. This was the lowest since the 95.3 points recorded in April 2016. The index of industrial production is recorded its highest ever value of 116.5 points in March 2019. Food production in April 2019 fell 9.9% year-on-year to 93.4 points, while the biggest decline in industrial activity came from tobacco products, which fell 30.9% year-on-year to 52.5 points. Apparel production, which accounts for significant industrial production volume, grew only 8.1% year-on-year to 110.2 points in April. Manufacture of rubber and plastic products rose 22.8% year-on-year to 100.9 points, while the manufacture of paper and paper products fell 24.4% year-on-year to 73.1 points. Manufacture of coke and refined petroleum products rose 16.8% year-on-year to 112.1 points. In terms of manufacturing industries, 70 out of 20 groups showed the positive growth in volume of production, and 13 industry categories included tobacco and paper products, etc. The Department of Census and Statistics pointed out that the less number of working days in April may be the possible reason for the decrease. Now let's take a look at a few stories for the day in brief. A delegation of Europeans met with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe at Temple Trees yesterday, assured to grant funds to curb the risk of terrorism and the spread of extremism in Sri Lanka. The delegation also stressed that the political and religious pressure directed against Sri Lanka's Muslim community must be stopped. The opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa met with Ambassador of Myanmar Hang Thu this morning at his official residence in Vijayarama. Both parties discussed on the current status of the country, and the members of Parliament Dinesh Gunawardena, Kehelia Rambukwalla and Arundika Fernando were present at the meeting. This year's Presidential Export Award ceremony will be held in September, announced by the Export Development Board. Exporters who are contributing to the export sector and to economic development of the country are awarded at the ceremony. Sri Lanka Export Development Board invites the interested exporters to download the entry forms from the website www.srilankabusiness.com and apply before the 1st of July. Sri Lankan shares rose for the fourth straight session on Wednesday to hit more than 5-week closing high on local buying, offsetting continued foreign selling in equities, while the rupee ended slightly weak on dollar demand from importers. However, stocks this morning opened 0.07% higher, with buying seen in LOLC Finance, Dunamis Capital and Sri Lanka Telecom in the first half hour of trading. Here, First Capital's head of research, Dimantha Matthew, giving a review over the market behavior.
In the stock market, we have seen a continuous uptrend over the last 1 week, with renewed retail buying interest after a long lapse. However, the uptrend was on low turnover, while selected bargain hunters were noted. Foreigners, however, continued to be on the selling side, though the overall participation remained low in the market.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today. The All-Share Price Index gained 8.63 points to close at 5,387.36, and the S&P SL20 dropped 1.21 points to close at 2,503.60. The turnover was 235.5 million rupees and over 8.9 million shares were traded. Next up is Forex rates. Well, that's the wrap of the bulletin for the day. Signing off with the promise for tomorrow at the same time with nothing but the latest. Thank you and goodbye.